Okay, so the next part we're going to put together in SolidWorks is going to be our outlet plate. And, you want to make sure that you go through the drawing, understand the drawing as we put this together and the way we're going to do this. And I have a suggested feature order over here. And I'm going to go over this just a little bit quicker this time because I think by this time you probably have a lot of this stuff down. So we're going to go through the feature order. We're going to do an extrude, a rectangular extrude. It's going to be a thin extrude. The dimensions we're going to be looking for are going to be 2.75 on the bottom, 4.4375 on the side, and then the thickness is going to be 0.1875, 3/16 of an inch. Then we're going to make our receptacle cuts. We're going to make these two round cuts. We're going to use, just like we did before with the outlet, with the junction box, as we're going to sketch it on top, put a line in the middle of that, and then mirror it down to the bottom and do our extrude. We're going to do the hole next. And then once we get the hole in place, we're going to be able to put a chamfer around the whole thing. And then we're going to put a shell in that, so it's going to have that look to it. So keep this in mind. 2.75 on the bottom, 4.4375 on the side, and then 0.1875 for the thickness. And then we're going to go ahead and consider the PVC rigid for the material. So let's take this out of the way. Let's get started. Start from the top, work our way down. Material, we're going to right-click on that. I don't know if we have PVC rigid in here, so we're going to have to go back into Edit Material and get out of steel. We're going to be looking for plastics down here, which is going to be this one, and then PVC rigid is going to be down here towards the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and apply that and close. If you want to add a color to this, it's kind of fun. I made mine pink. But you can go up here and go to this beach ball up here, click on the beach ball, open that arrow over here, click on that ball up here, go to Appearance, and it gives you the ability to select a different color. So I'm going to make mine kind of a light green and go to the green check mark. Nothing shows as light green in here, but when we make a solid in here, it's going to show as light green. So we're going to go to the front plane, try to emulate the drawing. We're going to go to Sketch, we're going to go to Center Rectangle, and then we're going to sketch that out. And so it's going to be 2.75 along the bottom, 4.4375 on the side, and now we're going to go to Extrude. Let's go ahead and read our directions in here. Base feature, extrude to the front. So now we're going to extrude this to the front. We're actually looking at it in the front. So when we go to Extrude Boss Base, we want to make sure it's coming out at us. And then we're going to make that, what is the value, 0.1875, 3/16 of an inch, and go to the green check mark. So that should be our light green, and that's our base feature in here. So we're going to call that base, or base feature, or base part. So let's just call that base for now, and let's go to our mass properties to make sure we have this correct. So it's got the mass of 0.10, but we're going to have to go into the options in here. We're going to go ahead and increase our precision up to 4. So go to Custom Settings. Instead of 2, we're going to make that 4. Take our slider, put that all the way up to the right, and go to OK. And we're looking at a mass of 0.1075 pounds. And it looks like we have that over there. And in the Z-axis, it's going to be off in the Z-axis because we extruded that forward. It's going to be in a positive direction. It's coming at us. So it's going to be 0.938. And that's what we have there too. So that looks good. So now we can continue on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in those outlet holes. And we're going to call that our receptacle cut. So we're going to go ahead and click on this face over here. We can do that, or we can pick on the front plane. And then we're going to put in some reference geometry first. So we're going to go to centerline. We're going to go normal to that face. We're going to sketch that centerline in a very similar manner that we did for our junction box. Right click on that line. We're going to select midpoint. We're going to select that point in here. We're going to make that coincident. And now we're going to put in another centerline. It's going to go top to bottom, kind of like what we did before. We're going to go through the origin, but as an alternative, we can pick up the midpoint down here on that edge and just keep the ends of that off the model. It's always a good idea that when you do something like this with your center lines, you keep it off the model. It's just a little bit easier to see and track. So now we're going to put in some circles. We're going to put in a circle over here, and then we're going to truncate that circle, looking at the dimensions we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the dimensions we're going to be using here. So we have a dimension in here which is kind of grayscaled. Maybe even brown colored. This is going to be what's called a driven dimension. It's going to be driven by these other elements in here. So we're going to go ahead and take that circle. We're going to make sure it's 1.625 inches away from that center line. So we're going to put that dimension in there. We're also going to have some flat lines in here too, away from that circle. We're going to go ahead and put those in there, and there's going to be a distance between those right in the middle of 1.125 inches. Then we're going to dimension one of those, and this ultimately is going to be a driven dimension. This dimension is going to be driven by the other elements that we have in place in here. So let's go ahead and put that in. Right now we have a circle, but let's go ahead and put in a couple lines in here. We're going to put a line in on the top up here. Then we're going to go ahead and put a line in on the bottom down here. We're going to exaggerate this a little bit. Because what we want to do with these lines, with this line on the bottom, is we want to make this line and this line equal to each other. So you notice we have a shortcut menu over here, another sketch relation. We're going to make those two equal to each other. And now we're going to put a dimension on that. So we're going to put a dimension on 1. And if you look at the drawing, that dimension is going to be 0.676 inches. And go to the green check mark. So it's not quite what we're looking for yet. We need to put in some more dimensions in here in order to get this to work out right. So we're going to take this line over here with our smart dimension, and that line we're going to go ahead and put in that second dimension, which is going to be 1.125 inches. So now that's looking a little bit better. And it's still blue, which means we have the capacity to move this around a little bit. So we can take the center point of that circle and move that up and move that down a little bit. And now what we want to do is we want to take that circle to define this a little bit better. We're going to take this circle and that center line, and we're going to go across. So this is the single dimension, but that's called a double dimension. And we're going to go ahead and drop that as a double dimension. We're going to make that 1.625 inches. So that's the beginning of that hole. Now we have to trim some stuff out. We have some lines in here which are going to kind of conflict with the enclosed geometry that we need in order to create that hole. And the way we do this, and this is really kind of a fun tool, so AutoCAD has got something very similar to this, is going to be the Trim Extend tool. And with this Trim Extend tool, you have the capacity to move your cursor around like that, and everywhere that cursor touches, it's going to delete. It's going to delete an element in there. So we're going to delete the top portion of that arc, that circle, and delete the bottom down here, and now we have that in place. So now we have that almost ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and select everything over here with the pick box, select this line down here for our mirror entities, and we're going to mirror that down to the bottom. And once we do that, we're going to go to Features, Extruded Cut, move that off to the side to make sure we're going off in the right direction. You can do Blind or Through Wall, and go to the green check mark. Now we have that in place. So that's our second feature in here, and this is going to be called our receptacle cut or outlet cut. So let's call that our receptacle. We're going to call that cut. And now let's go to our mass properties to make sure we have that right. So evaluate, mass properties. Looks like it's going to be 0.0851 pounds. Let's go ahead and check that to our drawing. 0.085 pounds, that's right. And then the z-axis is going to be off by 0.938. And that is correct. Okay, so let's get out of that and let's go to our next step. Next step is going to be very simple. A hole right there in the middle. We don't have to draw any sketch geometry in there because we could actually use the projected origin that might be there. Let's go ahead and go normal to the screen. Let's put our dimension on that. That dimension is going to be 0.20 or 0.21. And now we're going to do a cut in there too. So extruded cut, through wall, go to the green check mark. Now we have that hole in place. So I feel pretty confident about my mass properties. I'm not going to check them in this step. But what I want to do for the next step is we need to put that chamfer in there. So we're going to do an edge chamfer. And if we look at the value over here in our drawing, what we're going to be looking for that chamfer is going to be a 40-degree angled chamfer at 1/16 of an inch. So we're going to keep those two items in mind as we put this together. So this is the chamfer detail, as it says, 0.0625 inches at 40-degree angle. So the way you find a chamfer, it's related to the fillet. Go to the down arrow on the fillet, you'll see the chamfer. We're going to go to chamfer. And then chamfer properties, if we just click, We're going to have to click on all these edges, but conceivably you can click on this face over here where it's going to chamfer the outlet holes, which is what we don't want. So we're going to do this one at a time. Click on all these edges that we want. Top, bottom, left, right, that one on the bottom, and this hole over here too. We're going to go ahead and chamfer that hole. Now let's go in here and put in our values. So it's going to be 0.0625. We're going to make that a little bit smaller. Instead of 45 degrees, we're going to make that 40 degrees over here in the Properties Manager. And if we go to the green check mark, now it's beginning to look a little bit more real all the time. Let's check our mass properties in this. So let's go back to Evaluate, Mass Properties, 0.8375 pounds. Let's go ahead and check that over here. So this is actually after our edge chamfer, 0.0837, and then 0.927 on the z-axis. And now we have that in place. So the last thing we want to do, kind of fun, do our shell. So this is going to be a little bit different from the shell applications we've done before. With the shell over here is actually going to emboss where the receptacle cuts and that center hole cut's going to be. And so the shell, let's go ahead and look at our drawing and see what we can find for the shell value in here. And it shows us as being, well, it's not in here. It's not in here. I don't see it in here. But what we can do with the shell, and I believe I'm going to give this to you by way of the video, it's going to be 1/10 of an inch. So the back shell, I'm going to go ahead and correct the drawing here too also. But the back shell is going to be 1/10 of an inch. So we want to make sure you do that from the back. So we're going to go to Features, going to go to Shell. We're going to stick with the default value of 1/10 of an inch. Go ahead and click on that surface, and you'll notice that the cursor, right next to the cursor, you have a picture of an icon of the mouse. If you right-click or press the right mouse button here, it'll do that green check mark for us. So, 1/10 of an inch is the default setting. It was not correct. It doesn't really look like the drawing, so we're going to have to make a little bit of a correction here. And that's the nice thing about SolidWorks too, is that you have the capacity to go back, instead of having to redo the whole model, you can go back and make modifications to it. It's all part of the parametric design. But you can tell that there's a little bit of a distance in here between where the receptacles are going to pop out and that hole in here, not really blended together. What should be as part of that value over here for our shell should be 1/16 of an inch instead of 1/10 of an inch. So how do you do that? There's a couple of ways we could do it. We can right-click on the shell and go to that Edit Feature portion of that and go to the Properties Manager and change the value in it that way. Or we could actually click on something that would represent the surface of the shell, which could be that. And if you rotate that around a little bit, you can see the number up here. And we might have to select that one more time, and that number might be a little bit hard to select, but conceivably you can take that number over here and change that too and make it the appropriate value. Probably the easiest way right now is to go back to the shell, right click on that, let's change that setting to 0.0625 and go to the green check mark, and that's really close to what we're looking for. In fact, it's probably going to be exact. So let's go ahead and rename our features in here. So our mounting hole, we're going to call that mounting hole. Want to make sure your caps are off, so it's going to be mounting hole. Chamfer, we're going to call that our edge chamfer, so we're going to keep that word chamfer, just put edge in front of it. Again, it's always a good idea to rename your features. Only takes a few minutes. And then shell, we're just going to provide an orientation for that shell. We're going to call that back shell. So now that we have that in place, let's go ahead and check our evaluate. Let's check our mass properties. And the mass here should be, we have a reading of 0.359. Let's go ahead and check that with a drawing. And that should be 0.0359. And then the center of the mass, of course, in X and Y axis, it's going to be still at 0. And we're varying that by the Z, by what we're looking at coming at us. And the Z is going to be 1332. And do we have that? We have that too. So it looks like we have this correct. One thing to keep in mind, I noticed this with the student in class as he was putting together some of his models. When you're in a situation like this, modeling in an infinite universe here without any references in here, it's really hard to tell where you're really at. And the way you can get your bearings back is to click on the spacebar. If you click on the spacebar, it gives you the capacity over here to show you what your different views are going to be. We want to make sure that if you're getting the mass properties off, but they're like off in a different axis, like maybe with your center of mass it might be off in the X rather than the Z, or maybe on the Y rather than the Z, check your orientation. And the way you do that is you go to, you click on the space bar. It gives you an orientation over here, and what you want to do is you want to click on the front. So you want to make sure that that front view matches the front view of your drawing. So if it says the front view over here, and you're looking at the front view over here in your model, then you know you're doing good. If it's not the front view, if it's the top view or the right view, then the way you do that is you go into the sketch on your base feature, right click on it and go to Edit Sketch Plane, and then you want to make the change there. So if you want to make that like on the right plane rather than the front plane, you can do that too. Go to the green check mark. You might get some errors with that depending on how you put your model together, but that's how you change that. So if you go back to the space bar and click on that right view, that's what you see. If you click on the front view, that's what you see. So again, the way you do that, right click on that, go to Edit Sketch Plane. We're going to change that back to the front plane and put that where it belongs. Go to the green check mark. And there we have it. So if we go to the front view, bang, that's where we have it. So make sure you do that. That's kind of a little side trick, show you how to get your orientation correct, get your bearings correct, so that your model comes together correctly. So that is the outlet plate.